I've heard of a five-tool team, but you probably have heard of a five-tool player. It's usually in reference to a baseball player. Baseball player who has power and hitting, also is a good hitter, base running, fielding, and throwing. But wait a minute, you say, because we're not talking about baseball here, and our next recipient is not a baseball player. But in part because of my love of baseball, and I used to coach baseball, I've coined a new term and have chosen to use on our next award winner, the 2015-2016 Outstanding Male of the Year, the voice of Smoky Hill announcements, the Ginger Ninja, an academic, an athlete, an artist, a leader, a volunteer, Eric Paricio, the five-tool team. Eric is the embodiment of the five-tool team. For those that don't know, my name's Tim Brown. I'm the theater teacher at Smoky Hill, and I've been involved in a lot of areas in my career, including coaching and scoutmaster and volunteerism and teaching English. I've come to appreciate the five-tool team. In fact, I want my own children to become a five-tool team. Most of the teams here tonight are five-tool teams, but Eric takes each level to takes each to a level I've rarely seen in my years of teaching. The five tools in order, and it's in no order of importance, are academic skills, artistic skills, athletic skills, leadership skills, and a spirit of volunteerism. I'll illuminate each with a quote and share an example from Eric's experience to show how he's accomplished in each. Tool one, the academic skills. You've seen a lot of his awards already this evening, but I'll touch on a few. Brian Herbert is quoted, "The capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, the willingness to learn is a choice." Eric has earned things that you haven't heard, like the Spark Award for Outstanding Performance in Science, Excellence in Trigonometry Department Award, American Chemical Society Award for Outstanding Chemistry Student, Outstanding AP IB Chemistry Student, Exemplary IB Student Award, the Bausch & Lomb's Award for Excellence in Biology, Chemistry, and Physics, the National Science Foundation Award for Research and Internship, even the Japanese National Honor Society Award. He studied last summer in Alaska with international grad students and professional scientists, and the list goes on. Quite an academic. That's just tool one. Tool two, artistic skills. As Pablo Picasso said, the purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls so that we may see the world as others should. Some believe that teens who see the world with an eye of an artist improve in all areas of their life. Eric has accomplished the following. He's been in numerous musicals and plays, including, as you heard earlier, Humpty Dumpty and Alice in Wonderland, and a wonderful rendition of Bert and Mary Poppins just a couple months ago. He's an international thespian. He qualified for the Nationals in Musical Theater. Those Nationals are in June in Lincoln, Nebraska, and he won't be able to attend because he's going to be in New Zealand. He's an all-state choir student, soloist, a member of his church choir. He's an accomplished piano player. He's even a songwriter. In fact, if you go to the graduation here next week, you'll hear a song that Eric wrote, and you'll hear it performed at the graduation ceremony. So he is quite an artist. Tool number three, athletic skills. And I like this quote. It's from Chuck Norris. "Whatever luck I had, I made. I was never a natural athlete, but I paid my dues in sweat and concentration and took the time necessary to learn." Eric has achieved the following. He's the Rocky Mountain Division champion in the Youth Ski League. He was Cloud City Ski Club Most Valuable Male Athlete and Sportsman of the Year. He was a 3-year varsity tennis player and team captain. He also made the academic all-state tennis team. He's also one of the best male dancers I've ever worked with in high school, and I traveled as a dancer years ago. Maybe Dancing the Stars is in his future, and if you want to see him dance, he'll be right here on stage May 13th and 14th in the Smoky Hill Dance Showcase. So he is quite an athlete. Maybe he'll go a little further than Von Miller did. Tool four, leadership skills. John Quincy Adams said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, you are a leader." Eric has served in many leadership roles, including president of the Smoky Hill Honor Society, president of Mac Attack, a men's a cappella choir, and he was a senior patrol leader in his Boy Scout troop. And in watching Eric, I know that it's not the positions that he holds and where he showcases his leadership. He leads by example. Tool 5, volunteerism. One of my favorite quotes ever is by Martin Luther King Jr. He says, Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. And another quote by Albert Schweitzer, whenever you turn, wherever you turn, you can find someone who needs you. Even if it is a little thing, do something which there is no pay but the privilege of doing it. And remember, you don't live in the world all of your own. He continued by saying that the only ones among us who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. One of my favorite traits about Eric is his desire to serve. He initiated the Positive Upstander anti-bullying campaign, Lend a Hand, Take a Stand. He worked with the Caring Youth program with Volunteers for Outdoor Colorado, and his Eagle project was to provide a library to a small village in Ecuador to give them a chance at some of the education they didn't have the ability to take part in. And finally, I'm going to close with a memory of Eric that I will always hold dear, and it happened right here on stage. It's from when we were in production for Mary Poppins a couple months ago, and it's a time affectionately known as Hell Week. It's for a variety of reasons. It's the last week before staging a musical production. It's a stressful week under normal conditions, but this year was made worse by the fact that we had midterms at the same time. We spent almost 40 hours on stage leading into the production, and that doesn't include all the time in classes and families and jobs and everything else. So late one night evening after rehearsal during Hell Week, I was turning off the lights here in the auditorium. It was late, it was probably about 10 o'clock. And I found Eric still on stage, even after a long night of rehearsal, and I thought to myself that him of anybody didn't need to be here because he had his lines memorized. He's a wonderful vocalist. He had all the dances down. But as I came to find him on stage, I found that he was there with several other younger students that were also in the show, and he was helping them with their choreography. I overheard him encourage them, and he assured them that even though the show seemed like it would never come together, I even heard them say something about the show sucked. So that was their own words. But he said that all would be well with continued work and keeping the right attitude. In that moment, he was volunteering his time. He was a teacher. He showed teamwork of an athlete, the attitude of a leader, and the empathy of an artist. He was a five-tool team. And Eric's rewards are many. His accomplishments are awe-inspiring. He will attend CSU next year studying science and music and a full-paid scholarship. He was accepted with scholarship to every single school he applied to, including Purdue, and there were many others as well. He says he wants to someday make a positive difference in the world, and as a five-tool team, I think he has already begun. Eric Paricio, valedictorian, Eagle Scout, Betcher Foundation Scholarship winner, athlete, artist, and volunteer. Give him another round of applause.